Okay, be on mute. Okay. So today's topic is about software development life cycle. So as we have different products, like mobile or laptop or any product if you take, they have their own life cycle, right? They follow the particular life cycle. In the same way, whatever the software, whatever the application which you design, which runs on a computer or which runs on internet, okay, which runs with some technology, we call it as software development lifecycle. That can be anything. That can be an operating system, or it's a development project, or it's a web application, or whatever it is. Okay, we follow a software development lifecycle. Just hold a second. I'm getting a call. Yes. Yeah, I'm back. So what I was saying about software development lifecycle. Fine. Okay. Software development lifecycle, a framework that describes the activities performed at each stage of a software development project. So now we are going to see a framework. Okay, so it has different stages like analysis, okay, design, programming, that is development, and testing and deployment. Okay, so what exactly each and every stage, what are the different activities, what are the different activities, these different stages? Okay, we'll see now. A framework that describes the activities performed at each stage of a software development project. Look at these stages: analysis stage, design stage, program construction, testing, and this is deployment. The last one is deployment. Now, when you look into these stages, the first stage is analysis stage. Here, as a business analyst, you have to analyze the requirements. You have to gather requirements from the client, okay, and you have to explain these requirements to technical team, and this technical team will check for the feasibility that it is possible or not, and then you specify the requirements, you document the requirements, okay, and then you draw a couple of diagrams by using Microsoft Visio tool like use case diagrams, flow charts, wireframes, and blah blah. There are a couple of diagrams. I will show you. Don't worry. So then, once the document is done, okay, once you gather all the requirements and the document is validated and verified by the client, and the document you have to send it to designing team. So these designers, by looking into the requirement document and as per your explanation about the requirements, these designers will design the project. Okay, user interface, graphical user interface applications like what we see on screen. Then once the designing phase is done, then it goes to programmers, that is development team. So these people write program like Java, .NET, C, C++, or a couple of programming languages we have. So they write some program and they make the page into functionality. They make the application into functionality. Okay. And once the project is developed, then it sends to testing. So testing is common, right? In every organization, every product you have to test it by the end of the day before sending it to client. So here in this testing stage, testers test the application that as per the requirements, these people design the project or not. Okay. So they will, so as a BA, you have to explain the project to designers, developers, testers, everyone on a project. So the testers also will understand what is the project, what should be the output. So as per the requirements, testers will test whether these people, the technical people, have designed the project in a right way or not. If not, if there are any bugs or any errors, these testers will send back again. Got it? Can you hold a second? Hold a second. Let me talk to this guy. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Here. Fine. Sorry for the disturbance. Uh, oh, okay. Fine. So here we have different stages like analysis, design, development, program construction. Okay, testing and deployment. So these testing people, they test the application like where I mean as per the requirements. These people, I mean technical people, have designed the project or not. If the actual result and the expected result both are not same, then they identify it as a bug. Then they identify it as an error. Okay, fine. Let's assume that the technical people had worked on it and they fixed the bug. Then they send it to deployment team. That means these people will move the project to client location. Anyhow, we will look into each and every stage. Okay, fine. The first stage is analysis stage. Here, as a business analyst, you analyze the requirements and gather the requirements and prepare business requirement document or functional requirement document or whatever the document. I mean, as I told you earlier, that as a functional business analyst, you look into functional requirements and non-functional requirements. So these functional requirements are specified in a functional requirement document. Okay, and the systems analyst gather system requirements and those requirements are specified in a system requirement document, we call it as SRD. And data requirement document was prepared by data analyst where it has all the data requirements. So here you're talking about business analyst, right? Functional BA. So that is the reason we mentioned FRD here. Either you can say FRD or FRS, functional requirement document or functional requirement specification. Okay, and BRD is nothing but business requirement document, combination of all these requirements. I already told you in the first class, right? Like BA, SA, DA. So these are all combination of functional, non-functional, system requirement, data requirements you find in one document that is known as business requirement document. Fine. Anyhow, I will explain you business requirement document. Here we are just looking into a software development life cycle. That's it. Okay, I'm not going into much detail. Anyhow, we will be discussing all these things in the further sessions about BRD or about analyzing requirements or about gathering the requirements or techniques or methods. We will be looking into them in the next sessions. Now, analysis phase in more detail: gather information, define system requirements, functional and non-functional, prioritize requirements. Okay, so when I say prioritize, um, for example, if you take an example of a cell phone, if I ask you a question, which requirement is the topmost requirement, which requirement is the most important requirement for designing mobile, what will be your answer? Everyone holds a cell phone, right? Yeah, go
Re-
ahead.
receiving and making a call.
Do you think that receiving and making a call is an important before that? I mean, something I think some.
Communication.
So to need communication, what you want, what you need. I'm talking about designing a cell phone here.
The
So a
keypad.
connection, what you will do without connection, what you will do with a keypad, and what you will do with the call button and end button. Mobile means it should have a connectivity, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah.
It should have a connection.
Yes.
Otherwise, what is the purpose of cell phone? Even you have a 30 megapixel camera or 100 megapixel camera, no one cares because it will become a camera. It won't become a mobile phone, cell phone, correct? So cell phone means the main requirement is connection, then call button, then end button, then whatever it is, that is touchpad or that is QWERTY keypad or blah blah whatever it is. So here, when I say prioritize requirements, so let's assume client gave you a 2 to 3 thousand of requirements like one after other in a document. Just let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 like this, couple of requirements. And how do you understand these requirements? I mean, how do you come to know that which requirement should be designed first, and how do you explain these requirements to your technical team? It is very difficult. So for that purpose, we use a technique known as Moscow technique. So I will tell you the technique after this SDLC. Just I will give a high level description about it. So by using this Moscow technique, like must, should, could, and won't requirements. So you ask client, what are the must requirements? What are the should requirements? That is second priority. What are the could requirements? Correct? So in this way, we use a technique known as Moscow technique for prioritizing the requirements. Okay, I'll tell you about this technique after this SDLC part. Second one is prototype for feasibility and discovery. So see, as a BA, you gather requirements. That's a fantastic job you did. Then you put them in a document. As per prioritization, you made it. By using some technique, you made all the prioritize when you put the requirements in a prioritization way. Then, in a better way, how can you explain it to client? I mean, sorry, how can you explain to your technical team? We use a prototype. Prototype is nothing but a pencil sketch, a drawing. We draw something like, let's assume we are designing one Google search page. So you just give a rough diagram how a Google search page looks like. So you may ask me a question. So how as a BA I know how the Google search page looks like, right? Client will tell you. Client will explain you. Got it? So this is the project. This should be like this. Mobile should be like this. The design should be like this. Client will explain you. For this purpose, we use Microsoft Visio to design a wireframe. Did I show you a wireframe earlier? A wireframe is nothing but a pencil drawing, a pencil sketch, a blueprint. Did I show you any wireframe till now?
No.
No, right? Now I will show you.
No.
I'll show you now. Just a second. We use Microsoft Visio Okay, software, to design this. Let me go to let me log into Windows. Sorry, just a second. Because Microsoft Visio is a compatible version which need Microsoft Office. Okay, so I cannot install Microsoft Office on Mac version, right? So that is
Yes.
the reason I'm showing you in this Windows. Now this is a Microsoft Visio software. I mean, it's a designing tool. And a designing tool means what? Anyone can use this, like electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, civil engineers, or interior designers, or Google people. They use it for Google Maps. Like this, many people use this tool for designing purpose. So let's look into this. When I click on more shapes, I see some business. So business people for brainstorming business processes, or engineers like electrical engineers, mechanical engineer, process engineers. Flow charts. We can draw basic flow charts, cross-function flow charts, department flow charts. And look at these maps and floor plans. In this, you can see building plan. In building plan, you have bath and kitchen appliances, electrical and telecom, furniture, right? Let me click on furniture. So what happened in the left side? You can see some symbols, right? Some notations. I mean, some. Uh, so now, let's assume you are an interior designer. You just drag and drop here. It's a coach and it's a sofa. Okay, you can do a lot of things like you can design, and you have a dining table, you have a recliner chair, you have a small plant wherein you can put somewhere here. Okay, and you do have a grand piano. So like this, basically this is not my job or your job, right? So interior designer job, or some, suppose you want to uh, do some designing, uh, I mean like design your house, something like that, you can use this. So not only that, there are so many things like cabinets, garden accessories, a lot of things are there. Now maps, coming to maps, Google people use this for Google Maps. Okay, Google people use this for Google Maps, like directional map shapes, 3D shapes, metro shapes, recreation shapes. But what are all these things? These all are pencil drawings. So by looking into these drawings, the technical people, okay, they make it into functional and they run it on the system. Now let's see, coming to software. In this software, as a business analyst, we draw some UML diagrams like use case diagrams, and also we use controls. Let me show you control, because we are talking about, now the topic what we are talking is about prototype, right? Or a sample model or a wireframe. Let me draw a wireframe and show you. This is a text box. Okay, a wireframe is nothing but a pencil drawing, and these are the buttons. Okay, let me paste here. Will you please be on mute? I'm getting some background noises. Please be on mute. Don't you just remember that, okay? No, otherwise other people also will be getting disturbed. Okay, fine. Uh, Something like this, I'm sorry. And like I can write down here, double click on this and write down Google search button. These are buttons, right? I dragged and dropped buttons, and these are like I am feeling lucky, and then I can say like Gmail and blah blah. Okay, Gmail, YouTube, images, sign in, sign up button, and you can even change colors. Okay, you can go to colors and even you can change colors. And then can go to insert, and you can click on a picture, and you can put a logo here. I don't have a logo in my computer now. Okay, I mean a Google logo. You can save it on your system, and you can put it somewhere here on here. I mean, like, and then what you do, you copy it. See, this is a requirement. What I designed a replica of Google page, right? I designed a wireframe, a pencil sketch, okay, a pencil drawing for Google page. So how I know that as a BA, how I know that I have to design this? Client will tell me. Client explains me, like, this is the requirement, this is how it should look like. Now I understand this and I designed as per my idea, as per my knowledge. Now I will show this to client. Okay, so what I will do, I don't ask client to install MS Visio and see. What I do is I just copy this diagram and put it in a Word document. Okay, here it go. Here you go. You can see here. Now, and I will write all the requirements below this, like, or they above this or somewhere, like, this is a wireframe. This is known as a prototype, or this is known as a wireframe. Got it? So what is an advantage? If I draw like this, what is an advantage? Technical people will understand the project very easily, okay, and within a shorter time frame, and with the best knowledge they will design the application, and designers also, they will design with the best knowledge. See, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that exactly the text box should be this much of size, or exactly the inbox should be this much of size. A rough diagram in a proper order, that's it, you have to design. Then by looking into requirements, these people will design it in a right way. Got it? So this is known as a wireframe. And coming back to our topic, yeah, we are here. Prototype for feasibility and discovery. So this is how we have to draw some sample models. I'm not talking about pencil drawings. Sometimes, some people, they design a real image, a real diagram, okay, and they will also show it to client. Like, developers will write some minimum code, and a small program they will design, and they will show it to client. That is the different scenario. I will tell you when we discuss about prototyping working models. Okay, now let's see here, prototype for feasibility and discovery. Now you show it to client. If client want any changes or something like that, they will add it or remove it, and then you show it to your technical team. Listen carefully, you have to show this to your technical team. Now technical team will say that it is possible or not, because at the end of the day, technical people are going to design this, not business analyst. Business analyst is not a technical guy. He gather requirements, but not he don't write, he or she don't write programming or coding and all these things, right? So those people should tell you that it is feasible or not. If not feasible, why it is not feasible. So then BA will conduct a session, BA will conduct a meeting between technical team and SA systems analyst will be there, and the client will be there. Then they will discuss feasibility study. We call it as feasibility study, possible or not possible. That's it. Generate and evaluate alternatives. Yes, if there are any alternatives, suppose let's say that a team lead, a technical lead, that fellow want to give some new ideas, of course they can give. We call it as brainstorming. Okay, best practices, they can. Everyone is welcome, everyone are skilled here. Now review recommendations with management. If you want any recommendations, if you want to put some new ideas, you can inform to your manager. Your manager will recommend you. Now next, the same points repeated again here, like gather information, define system requirements, prioritize requirements, prototype, and blah blah. And here also, up to here, the same points repeated. I don't want to repeat again and again those things. Look at this second one. I mean, gathering system requirements, functional and non-functional. As I told you, right? Business analysts gather functional and non-functional. Okay, not essay, not system and data requirements. Okay, work with various stakeholders, users, clients, and technical staff. Now, what kind of information do I need? Yes, as a BA, okay, so you are in analysis phase. Now you understand something about a project. Without understanding, you cannot jump into analysis phase and start gathering the requirements. Before this, already you had done some survey, right? Like you did some primary data research or secondary data research, like online research, okay, or historical data. Whatever it is, you do some research. As you know, we already discussed in the last session. I mean, when we discuss about request for quotations and proposals at that time. Now, what are the business processes and operations? I mean, business analyst should know about the objective of this project and purpose of the project, scope of the project, okay, and what is the goal of the project, and how this project works, what are the functionalities of this project, and what are the operations of this project. Okay, BA should know. That is what they said here. They mentioned here what are the business processes and operations, how are the business processes performed, what are the information requirements. Any doubt? Okay. Next, primary information gathering techniques. So we have a couple of requirement gathering techniques here. First one, review existing reports, forms and procedure descriptions. Review existing reports. For example, you are designing iPhone 6 version, iPhone 6 model, or Windows something like 8 or 9. So look into the existing applications like iPhone 5s or iPhone Windows 8 or Windows 7, right? When you look into the existing applications, you can understand the project very easily, and you will get a clear idea about a project, and you can bring some new requirements for your project also. Okay. Second point, conduct interviews and discussions with users. What do you mean by interview? Interview always it should happen live. It is not like you ask a question or you send a question and after 1 hour you got an answer. So that is, we don't call that as an interview. Interview means that should happen live. That can be face to face, or that can be telephonic, or that can be voice chat or text chat or emails or whatever it is. But the reply should come immediately. Okay, that we call it as an interview. And to do this interview, we have to follow some steps like reviewing, preparing, planning, okay, following, conducting up, and all these things. So these all things we will discuss when we talk about interviews in detail way. Just try to understand here that interviews means that should happen live, and as a BA, you do interview, you conduct interview and gather requirements. Next point, observe and document business requirements. Yes, of course. Build prototyping working models, as I told you right just now. Wireframes, we discussed about wireframes. Okay, sometimes pencil sketches, sometimes working models, sample models also you have to design. Next, I mean, you may ask me how we can gather requirements, because you said these are the requirement, I mean, information gathering techniques. By prototype, how will you means? Of course, right? So when you design a prototype, you have to show it to client first. The client will look into that and they will get a new idea. See, when you look into a drawing, automatically they will get a new idea that, hey, why can't we add one more button here? Why can't we add something like this? Why can't if I modify this? Why can't I delete and add two more requirements? So this is nothing but and requirement gathering only, right? You will get new requirements. That's it. I mean, this prototype will give an idea, a clear idea. Oh, this is how the application looks like. Okay. Then they will give some more requirements. There is a chance of getting more requirements. Next, distribute and collect questionnaires. Questionnaires means, for example, you want to interview a vice president or a general manager. If you ask them to interview, if you ask them to attend an interview, these people say that no, we are very busy, we can't attend an interview because interview is a live. So what you do, you send a questionnaire. So they will reply back whenever they are free. Questionnaire means basically a question with multiple choice answers like A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or rating scale, something like that. Okay. So it depends. Sometimes you send only a question, or sometimes you send multiple answers. So these people will tick the right one. Okay. Next, conduct JAD sessions. Very, very important topic. JAD. JAD is nothing but joint application design. We also call it as workshop. This JAD session was implemented. I mean, this JAD session was introduced in 1970 by New York Telephone Company, and later IBM worked on it. And since 1974, we are using in IT companies. I mean, IBM is using since 1974. Okay, we are not going to look into the origin. Okay, so here, what is this JAD session? JAD session is nothing but a workshop. Okay, so let's assume a situation is something like you have to gather requirements within 10 days. Okay, maximum 10 days. Then how is it possible? See, as a BA, you have to communicate with different people. I mean, client side, you will find 3 or 4 people or 5 people. So depending on their time zones, depending on their availability, you have to communicate with them and gather requirements, and then you have to explain these requirements to your technical team. And again, feasibility check. There are a lot of things happens here. So it takes minimum 2 to 3 months of time for requirement gathering and documenting and all these things. But here I'm saying only 10 days. How it is possible? That means we conduct a workshop and you invite all the team members, okay, and client side people under this workshop, and prepare an agenda and let them follow the agenda and discuss face to face and gather requirements and finalize the requirements and document the requirements. Got it? I will tell you in more detail when we talk about JAT sessions. Research vendor solutions. Any solutions? Okay, you can do. So like this is all about analysis phase. What do you understand here? In analysis phase, BA gather requirements, document requirements, prioritize. I mean, use techniques for prioritizing, and use different requirement gathering techniques for methods and techniques for requirements. Prioritization is different, and requirement gathering techniques are different. Okay. At next level, the next one is design phase. In design phase, designers design the application. So look at this. The first level, GUI layer, presentation layer. So graphical user interface layer. It was designed by designer. And what is the design? Login page, username, password, and sign in button. So what are the other two? Like we have two boxes like business layer and database layer. What are these? What these guys are doing here? So as a BA, you draw a wireframe. By looking into this wireframe, this fellow has, I mean, this designer has designed this. Am I right? And then as a BA, you have to explain the project by using use case documents and use case diagrams, okay, and flow charts. Like flow charts means, see here there are only two fields of completely we have four things like login page, username, password, and sign in button. But when you look into different applications, where you will find a huge, like a very big application which has around 100 fields or 200 fields, something like that. So by looking at the flow diagrams, these designers will understand, oh, from where we have to start. So this is how the username should be on the top, the password should be on the next level, and the sign in should be here, something like this. I mean, the flow of work, which one to be inserted way. I mean, uh, so when according to the priority, okay, so which one should be on the top, which one should be the next. So we call it as flowchart. So don't worry, by using this Microsoft Visio tool only, we draw flowcharts and use case diagrams and all these things. Just try to understand that in business, in design layer also, business analyst will involve and uh, explain the requirements to designers. Okay, next one is database layer. Of course, see when you design like username, password, and sign in button. So when you click on the sign in button, it should connect to some database. I mean, when you click on sign in, the data should be displayed. So here we take an example of Gmail. When you click on sign in button, like hundreds and thousands of your inbox email should be displayed. From where the data is coming? The data is coming from a database. So who is going to design this database? Who is going to put a connection to the database? Who is the architecture of the database? Means data analysts, database people. Okay, they create tables, they create database. Okay, they give a relationship between the tables, they do data modeling, okay, and all these things. Don't worry, we'll discuss all these things in detail. Okay, just try to understand that here. The design phase, BA will involve and database people will involve, and the designer will design the application. Next level is implementation, that is programming, coding. Here BA is not involving because why? Because business analyst, how, tell me how business analyst can remember hundreds of technologies. See, for example, today you are designing one online banking application. That application was designed by, I mean, it is designing by using Java. Okay, fine. So tomorrow, the next project will be .NET. I mean languages, but written language. Sometimes SAP ABAP, some other technologies. So like this, project to project, the technology will change. So how will you remember? So no need to involve in that. Basically, we don't involve. So you may ask me a question. You may ask me a question like, if BA don't involve in this development stage, then if developers face any problem, if the developers have any issues, then who is going to take care? I mean, who is going to conduct sessions? Means SA will be there, right? Systems analyst. Systems analyst will look into that, and systems analyst will discuss with the TSME on the client side. Correct? That is fixed. So we are nowhere involved. And the next level is once the development is done, testing phase. In testing phase, tester tests the application, as you know. So we have two types of testings here: manual testing and automation testing. Manual testing means if I ask you to test a cell phone, how will you test it? I mean, you click on a call button, you click on a touchpad, and you just click on a camera, and blah blah blah. You know, like you do all this stuff manually. You are doing it manually by your own. Correct? You are not using any software. You are not installed any softwares here. You just checking it with your hands. Okay. Now this is known as manual testing. And the automation testing is something like, we use different tools, different softwares like Node Runner, WinRunner, uh, Quality Center, QC, QTP, Quality Test Professional. Okay, like this, we have a couple of softwares. So basically, we don't involve here. Just I'm giving an idea. So automation testers will be there. They write scripts in that automation tool, and the testing will happen. But here I'm not going to talk about all these things. Just concentrate on the manual testing. In manual testing, BA will do user acceptance testing. That's it, only one thing. User acceptance testing means once the project is tested and once the project is ready to send it to client location, just BA invite client to their location, and BA will explain the project in front of client. Like, this is how the online banking application should work. Like, okay, this is how you have to log in. This is how you have to transfer money and all these things. If client is not satisfied, or client may feel that there are still errors or bugs, then client is not ready. Client is not in a ready position to accept it. That is known as UAT, user acceptance testing. Now if any issues are there, then BA will inform to testers will do thorough testing and again send back to technical team. And at last, however it is, if not today or tomorrow, you have to send it to client, and you have to educate client. You have to train the client like about the application, of course, right? Why as a BA you have to explain the project to client? Because from the beginning you are there with the client, so you have already built a good rapport. You already you connected a bridge between your thought process and your client thought process. Sorry, right? So BA will explain the project to end user, I mean the client. This is what testing phase. Okay, look at this. BA involves, business analyst involves in functional testing, test cases, and user acceptance testing. I will tell you all these things. Don't worry, user acceptance testing and whatever it is. Next one is deployment. I mean maintenance. Like once the UAT is done or once the testing is done, uh, client will install the application on a client server, and maintenance people, they take care of support. Correct? So support will be given, right? Obviously, once you finish the project, I mean once the client start working on it. So if client face any issues, like we have, let's assume you brought a new iPhone to 6 today. So if you have any issues, immediately give a call to a service center or a support guy, right? The same thing happens here. The end users or the clients, when they are using the application, if they have any issues, okay, the support team will be there. They will take care of the things. They will fix the things, and they'll try to resolve the issues. Okay. So any doubts? Can anyone tell me what we discussed? I mean, what are the different stages, and in which stage BA involve? Okay, and what exactly BA do in each and every phase, every stage? Can anyone? Anyone want to try? Can you talk a little louder? Your voice is very low.